What's up guys, Samsung here talking about the technology and the secrets behind the 5.0 motor. But before I do that, I want you guys to be able to distinguish a 5.0 Mustang GT from your average Mustang. Most people kind of cringe and 5.0 in either fear, hate, or just don't know anything about it. So the 2011 5.0 is when it first came back from the Fox body and reworked and everything. So this model, as you can see here, typically will have front fog lights. It will have the 5.0 emblem on the side of it, and on the back it will say GT. And I know there's probably people out there like, well shit, duh bro. Of course they know it looks like that, are you stupid? But some people don't actually know a GT Mustang from a V6 or an EcoBoost Mustang, which EcoBoost does not apply in any of these years until S550. But that is the first S197 Gen 2. That's how you can tell the difference apart between that and V6. Second, we have the Gen 3. Now the Gen 3 S197 has same thing, fog lights, 5.0 badge, and a little addition added onto this one though versus the other version. On top of the hood there, you can't accurately see it on this picture, but there are heat extractors as well. So that's another differentiation between that and the V6. So if you see a guy with fog lights, 5.0 badge, but doesn't have heat extractors, probably a poser. You can see them a little bit more clearly right here, but it also has a GT badge on the back of the car. But that extra for this year is just the heat extractors, just little things forward thought to, hey, let's separate the V6 and the V8. I mean, at the price point, they weren't really all that different, probably like $3-4 grand at the time, but nothing crazy different. And this year was revised with the new kind of GT500 looking front fascia, as well as revised tail lamps in the back of it, kind of reminiscent of the 1968 version, kind of concave, and newly added little trim LEDs around it. And little quick note here, 2018 is also a concave tail light thing going on there, and I think Ford is going to make it a thing with their refresh periods to make the last cycle of it have the concave headlights or tail lights, because that was a big thing. Anyway, moving on to the S550 Gen. This is a lot to talk about. But the front fascia on this has fangs. Now that's really the biggest differentiation. It has heat extractors on the hoods, it has fangs, and it has a 5.0 badge in the back, and clearly as day on the deck lid panel there is a big GT. So before it was around the gas cap, now it's just big letters GT on the back of the car. Now I know it seems very obvious to state all this stuff out. Sometimes there'll be two fangs on the top grill and the bottom, sometimes it'll just be on the bottom. Most of the times it's just on the bottom. I don't really know if there's a factory differentiation between the two, and that's something because I'm not really an S550 person. I think they look nice, but I happen to own the S197 Gen 3, so I wouldn't really know too much about it. I mean, I'm a Mustang fanatic, but I'm not exactly sure. I did never dig deep into that topic as well. But that's really the easiest way to tell apart the first gen S550 from a V6 or EcoBoost. So GT badge, 5.0, fangs, and heat extractors. Quick note, the 2015 and 2016 Mustang GTs were the only one to have the turn signals and the heat extractors. Now you can still get that done on a 2017 or probably even a 2018, but maybe might be some fitment issues there with the 2018, but 2017 they decided not to do it. Who knows why? Now let's move on to the 2018. I know this is not what you came in here to watch the video about, but I think it's important to try to differentiate one from the other. So 2018, very obvious, fangs carried over from the previous S550. It has heat extractors, it has a 5.0 badge, and it has the big GT on the back. Now, extra thing added on here with this gen is quad tips. Now you can very clearly see it on this next upcoming picture, but now it's time to focus on what really came here. The secrets of the 5.0 Coyote motor and its sound. Number one, we got to start off with the motor itself. Now the motor is a twin independent variable cam timing. What is that? You might ask. It's not some VTEC garbage. What it is that it has twin cams independently working, two working on exhaust and two working on intake. So what that does is it helps, I guess, scavenge exhaust quickly and get more air quickly into the engine. So that's why it sounds the way it does when it revs, kind of like it's taken in and while it's breathing out the air. Does that make any sense? Like, 'cause when it's revving, it sounds like it's already pulling in more air, which is really weird. It kind of sounds, I don't know, almost animatronic, or cyborg-like. You get what I'm trying to say. It's really strange because we're having a little phenomenon going on there where it's taking in air as it's revving, as well as pushing out. So by the time you rev, when you're, let's say, at 5,500, you rev again, it sounds like it's already has a ton of air still left in the engine to rev. And that's just why it revs so high as well. Now, it doesn't rev incredibly high. It's not the highest revving V8. Now, that belongs to a lot more other platforms. But Ford likes to do this now with their V8s. So that's the biggest difference between that and the engine component. It does rev to 7,500 safely on the V8 Coyote motor, and now you do have the option to put the GT350 intake manifold on that, and you don't need valve springs or anything like that. It will safely hit its peak power at 7,500 RPM, so that tells you just how tough this motor is and how it's made to rev and what it's made to do. Now, number two, we're moving on to the aspect that it actually came with tubular, or aka shorty headers, from the factory. Now, they weren't crappy, they were specially designed, and that's why you don't really hear about people changing into shorty headers, because they're already shorty headers on the car. Now, it's not that they're crappy, they just already came with it, and it had a decent, very distinct tone. That's why it has that little echoing, wavering effect. That's why my exhaust setup kind of sounds similar to a Coyote setup, because shorty headers kind of have that same tone no matter what kind of engine count you have, or cylinder count in the engine. So that's the main difference there. That's the secret behind the sound, why it sounds just so crazy and very, very distinct. Now, Ford really put their heads together on this one to make sure that it was a very distinct sounding motor. And I'm sorry if I'm missing out on a few things here. There isn't really much I can possibly say about this. I don't want to give out any information that's going to harm your engine, which I doubt it is, because I didn't tell you to do anything. But I thought this would be a neat little video, because a lot of people are like, oh, that sounds like rice bullshit. It sounds like garbage. Oh my god, I don't want this. I want a Hemi, deep Hemi. Yeah, H-pipe on my freaking Coyote. Now, you can do whatever you want to your Mustang, of course, or whatever it is. I don't care what you do to your car. I just want to help you understand why something sounds a certain way and how it really functions. But I think it's really cool. That's why the 3.7 liter V6 actually was a pretty nice platform, because it shared the same technology as the 5.0 Coyote, but it's missing about 1.3 liters to actually match up to a Coyote. You know, maybe if you bore it out to a 4.0, it'll be a pretty worthy engine actually, but not a lot of people have done that. It's a very time-consuming thing, but they both use a twin independent cam variable timing, and that's a very nice technology to have in your car. But this has been Sam Stang. I hope this video was a nice little filler for you guys to take in for the grain of salt. And any questions, any content requests, anything like that, greatly appreciate it. Leave it in the comments below and I'll get right to you. I promise I always get to people who ask anything. This has been Sam Stang, and I will see you guys next time. Please do me a big favor and at least get this video 5 to 10 likes, and 5 would be just fine. I just want to see people actually watching this content and enjoying it. Thank you for watching. Like I said, it's been Sam Stang, and I'll see you next time.